Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another video. Want to follow up to my review for The Walking Dead issue 144, the end of the third compendium. Just insane issue. If you guys haven't read it, read it for sure, and check out my review. I'll post a link in the description for it so you can watch it if you missed it. In this one, we're going to be talking about, we're going to be doing some predictions about what do we think is going to happen next after The Walking Dead issue 144. This one I'm going to be calling Survivors versus Whisperers. So I felt absolutely compelled to make this video. I just couldn't resist because after reading 144 and kind of the smoke settled, my feelings have kind of, sort of subsided, and the initial shock and awe of the final part of that issue, man, oh my God, just crazy. So now I feel like I'm in a better place to analyze it, talk about it a little bit more, and do some predictions for what I think is going to happen next. So upon reading the issue again, I noticed some pretty cool things in it that I wanted to mention. And also somebody wrote in the comments that there's actually 13 deaths, technically, if you want to look at it, because Rosita was pregnant, right? So there's an extra one there. Yeah, so there's 13 total. And oh my God, man, just the spears and or like kind of like spikes, heads on spikes, kind of Game of Thrones style, right? His head on a spike, it's like the spears lined up, and her, I've marked our border, so you'll know it when you see it. You'll know the part. But if you look back to the issue earlier when Alpha's kind of talking to Rick, and she's kind of talking about her, her strategy that she uses about her being alpha, what that means, and she talks about dominant and submissive. Later on in the issue, Rick asks himself, why would they do this, right? Why would they kill 12 of our people and and show us all of the horde of zombies that there is, that they have? Why would they do all this and line them up like that? And I would say that probably it's because Alpha is trying to show dominance over the Rick and the communities, right? She is saying, two positions basically. You have dominant, you have submissive. She's trying to make him and the rest of the community submissive to her will, or to the Alpha, so to speak, kind of up through the chain. And if they don't do anything, then that's what they are. They are submissive. Based on what she's basically done already, which is to put them in their place, that's for sure. I mean, you kill a dozen people, I mean, that's a lot. It doesn't matter if you have a group of 100 or even 1,000. Still, as we saw in the issue 2, and I think Kirkman did a great job, and so Charlie Adlard, of showing below the ties to each person that's been killed. All these characters have been killed. Look at all the ties to all the people that care about them. You have Eugene, for example, that has no idea what's happened. You have all these other characters that have no idea what's happened. And when Rick gets back, with Andrea and the others, how is everybody going to react to knowing, what's happened to the people they love? Like Eugene, for example, that they killed Rosita. What is he going to do? How is he going to feel? So with this one, I can't see it going any other way but war. I mean, that's really it. I mean, I know they had all that war, and they probably don't want to get into a war type situation again. But is Rick going to be able to stop, Eugene, or stop some of these other people from attacking, the Whisperers and trying to get some kind of vengeance and revenge for what they did? I don't think so. Even if he wanted to try to, he's not going to be able to. I mean, you got Michonne there, of course. Her and Ezekiel were together for a long time. You've got all these other characters like Olivia, Josh, like I read off yesterday, Dr. Carson, Tammy, Luke, Aaron, Ken, Rosita, Ezekiel, Amber, and then a couple unnamed, and Oscar. So you just have, characters from a lot of the different places. As far as we know, nobody from the Saviors, though, I don't think, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure nobody from the Saviors. But still, you have all, you have all these different characters from the different communities. And, this is a really interesting one, though, because at the same time as you'd think, yeah, they're going to have to go to war after what they did. Yeah, true. I think they probably will because of that reason of all the ties and how everybody's going to feel after they find out that this other group has massacred a dozen of their people, especially one of the leaders, which was Ezekiel. It's just crazy, right? So that would have to lead to war, I would think. Um, Now, the only thing is, Rick is the only one who's seen their zombie horde, so to speak, and what they have. But even though they do have that zombie horde, I would say, and it's like 1,000, that's 1,000 zombies. Um, they don't seem to have much in the way of firearms. You have Alpha who carries the double barrel shotgun, right? And we most of the others have knives and butcher knives and stuff like that. From what we've seen, most of them are like that. But it's not like they're walking around carrying all kinds of firepower. They might have some, but we don't know of it yet, right? So with this battle, how this plays out, because I'm assuming it's going to happen. I don't see it any other way. I think it kind of has to at this point. Even probably Rick trying to get the Saviors involved, get all the groups together, however many people they have, if it's a few hundred or, I'm not sure exactly how many in total it would be, but it would be, I would think, at least a few hundred, and then kind of just take that and go at the Whisperers with it, even though they have a lot more zombies. If the joint communities, like Eugene's really, is really pissed off, and he produces mad amounts of ammunition and everything, then they should have lots of ammo to go in there and just massacre at least a good number of Whisperers and zombies alike. So I think that's probably what we're going to see. I mean, obviously, after seeing all those deaths, even as strong as Alpha seems to be, I don't think Rick and the others are going to allow it. This one was such a shocking issue, man. 144 was crazy. I was thinking about it after I did my review. I'm like, I should be used to this because this is The Walking Dead. I should be used to this because this is like 144 issues in. It's like if I don't get the idea by now, there must be something wrong with me. But they kind of lulled us into a false sense of security because we had a lot of issues where there was no big character deaths, and we had Alpha kind of meet with Maggie at the hilltop, and there was no big exchange or character deaths. It was like a trade, and it was even, and it's no problem, no big deal, right? And they lulled us into a false sense of security, and then they crushed us all at once. So I think that's why it was so crazy. Plus, Comic-Con's coming up, so obviously this week it's pretty much here, basically now, tomorrow and this weekend. There's already previews from Comic-Con coming and stuff like that anyway online. So, man, what a crazy issue. If the question is, do I think we're going to see war between the Whisperers and the joint communities, the survivors, I'm just going to call them basically, even though it's kind of extended now, not just to Rick's group, but even bigger than that. Yeah, I think we're going to see war go down. I don't think it could go any other way. It kind of has to, I would say, at this point. That's a declaration of war. You do something like that. So that's pretty nutty. I don't think they'll be able to kind of brush that off no matter what they do. So, wow, crazy stuff, man. I think it's because Alpha is showing, like I said, that she wants to show dominance, and make him feel submissive rather than peace. She doesn't really want peace. She wants cooperate. She wants him to do what he has to do, in the hierarchy, right? She doesn't really want equal. She wants dominance over their group, submissive to them. Letting them kill all of them and not wanting to fight back. Plus, also, if you take out 12 of their members, you've taken a good chunk out of their surviving numbers as well too, right? 12, a dozen, it matters no matter how many you have. Basically, it's a substantial amount of people, I would say, for the communities right now. So. Obviously, I think Rick's group's going to win in the end, obviously. But this one could go on. This could be a long, type of war. I guess we'll have to see what happens. Maybe we could see a community fall, like a Hilltop or something like that in the process. Or even Alexandria. Who knows? I mean, we kind of saw that in All Out War, so I don't think we'll see it again. But I think we're going to see a lot of pretty craziness coming up because we had quite a peaceful period there. And now we're just as peaceful as that was. We're going to get the opposite in terms of action, war, and deaths. It seems so. Plus, there's lots of characters. So there's lots of fodder and stuff. So, so I'm excited, man. Those are kind of my predictions for it. I don't think we'll see it right away, but I think pretty quickly Rick and the group are going to have to start talking and start figuring out what the hell they're going to do. And I don't think there'll be any other choice but to go to war. But we'll see. Maybe Rick can keep everybody under control and say, listen, let's think about this for a minute. I know we've lost all these people, but they have 1,000 zombies, 1,000 or more probably. So, Yeah, let me know what you guys think about all that. Write your predictions below because it's kind of early. We're just kind of getting into this, right? But yeah, write your predictions below, and man, let me know what you thought about issue 144. I'm still looking over comments, and I'm still like enjoying just hearing what you guys have to say. So if you like the video, please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share, please favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you guys again real soon for the Comic-Con, trailer reviews and stuff like that, of course, as always. And yeah, I'll call it here. So for this one, guys, see you again real soon. As always, it's Trev. Same peace.